there are expected and predictable outcomes in their behavior. Knowing these links between brain and behavior can immensely help the practitioner in not falling down the rabbit hole of escalating conflict and predictable impasse. The authors, supportively and repeatedly, remind the listener that most of the unhelpful conflict that arises when dealing with HCPs is created by the HCP, not the practitioner. Remember, it's not you, it's them. Their tendency towards conflict merely reflects the unique wiring and presumed limitations of the brains of the HCPs. Trying to persuade the HCP to be more logical and reasonable falls on deaf ears. It is a matter of can't rather than won't. The authors give practical ways to maneuver around the limitations of the HCP so as to increase the practitioner's effectiveness in helping the disputants reach agreements, no matter the context of the dispute. As the authors guide the mediator through high conflict disputes, they present step-by-step details of the process, the order of issues to tackle, and the ongoing mandate for maintaining client self-determination of the content, while the mediator maintains very structured control of the process. Throughout the book, the authors give good details and plentiful examples of scripted statements, specifically designed to calm down the HCP effectively and preemptively from escalating. Some of the suggestions presented for managing HCPs are counterintuitive, or counter to regular mediation training. For example, the authors recommend having the clients, rather than the mediator, set the agenda. This helps to focus the HCP on tasks rather than emotions, and helps rein in their tendencies to be emotionally reactive. And while conducting mediations with an HCP, the authors advise against using the traditional interest-based negotiations, in which exploring the interests of the parties come before making proposals. These authors suggest the opposite order of these in mediating with an HCP. Make proposals first, as part of the critical need to set structure up front. Then interests can be explored within that discussion, not before. This approach helps contain the HCP from getting caught up in negative emotions and hijacking the mediator's best efforts. The authors of this book also suggest, in spite of the multitude of workshops available in the mediation marketplace, on the power of apology, that the mediator not support or encourage clients to apologize to an HCP. They dub it apology quicksand and view the HCP's demand for an apology as a move to dominate or humiliate the other party and to justify their own behavior. By seeking an apology, they can deny any responsibility whatsoever for the conflict, when it often is partly, or mostly, their own behavior that was a problem. And as a last example of counterintuitive suggestions, the authors discourage using a transformative model of mediation in workplace settings when high-conflict people are likely to be involved. Note: transformative mediation is the model used exclusively by the United States Postal Service. The authors point out that this model is based upon encouraging insight and self-reflection within the disputants, which they assert is not possible with HCPs, and that it would only further focus them on their negative emotions, which tends to escalate conflict. In sum, this book is an important, detailed, and practical summary of the special modifications of approach needed by mediators when dealing with disputes that involve high conflict. Such disputes typically have at least one high-conflict person who can drive the dispute to impasse, unless the HCP and the dispute resolution process are managed differently than in the usual ways. Whether you are a beginning or a very seasoned mediator, this book will show you the new ways to do it. Donald T. Sapoznik, Ph.D., author of Mediating Child Custody Disputes, co-author of Splitting America and The Child Support Solution. Introduction: Why we wrote this book. We first met in 2009 when Michael invited Bill, as co-founder of the High Conflict Institute, HCI, based in San Diego, California, to deliver a training for the Collaborative Family Law Group in Victoria, British Columbia.